Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. A little late on this one. We were out doing some stuff yesterday. We didn't get back until later. So the Power Performance Index, a little late today. This is it's a little early afternoon on Sunday, and so I kind of had to go through and you know do everything and make sure where all the teams were. So we are getting into this just a little bit late, but here we go. Week 9 for the Power Performance Index. So starting out at number 32, kind of a familiar spot for these guys. They went 0-4 on the week. They're 2-7-1 in the last 10. They have lost 5 in a row. They're back at number 32, dropping a spot. And that, of course, is Chicago. So the Blackhawks are just, they fired their coach. You got to think the GM, I don't know about the GM, if the GM's going to be in any trouble, but they fired the coach. Bedard has not been playing great. They have not been playing well. And they're back at number 32. And it's kind of wait for the draft lottery for them. Number 31. They drop a spot also. Now, if there were more than 32 teams, for the way these teams are playing, I could even drop, should they both be lower than 32? They probably could. These guys definitely could. And just because the only reason they're not at 32 is because Chicago is playing just as bad. And they have lost 7 in a row, and it's just gotten ugly for Nashville. It just continues to get just uglier and uglier for the Nashville Predators. The moves they made in the offseason, they should not be this bad, but they're horrendous. And Saros is playing well, but they can't score. There's not a lot Nashville can do right now. Them in Chicago, I could have had either one of them. I could have flipped them around, and I think they'd have been in the exact right spots. Number 30. Not exactly playing that well either, even though they did go they went 1-1-1 on the week. So it's not horrible, but they're not doing that great either. And they drops them one spot. The Islanders. So the New York Islanders it's a surprise to see them that low. It really is a surprise to see them this low. But again, they're another one of those teams. They've got good goaltending, but they can't seem to put anything together. There's no consistency there with the Islanders. And, they're at number 30 because of it. Number 29. Moving up 3 spots. They move up 3 spots mainly because these other 3 teams have just been god-awful. So it moves these guys up. They only went 2-2 on the week. They're 5-4-1 in the last 10. They did lose their last game. But again, because these 3 teams are just god-awful right now, it bumps them up. Montreal. So Montreal, they got Laine back. They've got Laine back. He's actually looking pretty good out there. He's moving around decently. He's skating pretty good. And I hope he can help the Canadians, maybe string together some wins. Maybe he can get some goals in there, put some points on the board. It would be great. And, hopefully Laine can stay healthy. And with Slavkovsky and Caulfield and Suzuki, hopefully this can be a team that maybe they can kind of start moving up a little bit. Maybe string some wins together and move out of this area. Maybe move up to here. It'd be kind of cool to see. Number 28. Now, this is, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make of these guys. And I know their head coach is on the hot seat. I would almost say the GM should probably be on the hot seat too. Detroit. Detroit is at 28. They have lost 5 straight. They're not good. They are not good at all right now. The Yzer plan, it worked in Tampa. It really worked well in Tampa. It has not worked in Detroit. It has not. And they have talent. They have talent, but it's not working. The coach, I could very easily see the coach get fired. And, rumor and innuendo, the thought that, if Detroit fires Lalonde, hey, Joel Quenneville. I've heard that rumor out there. Don't know if there's anything to it, but if I'm the upper management there in Detroit, not only do I think the coach might be on the hot seat, and I never thought I'd hear myself say this, I think Steve Yzerman should be on the hot seat in Detroit right now. Number 27. They dropped 5 spots also. They have lost 3 straight. And again, there wasn't a lot expected of these guys. They've had some good little runs here and there, but again, there wasn't a lot expected. They've gone through a lot this year. And, Columbus is right back. They're 27 this week. They've dropped 5 spots. It's just, it's not been great right now for Columbus. And it was interesting. The Jacob Trouba trade to Anaheim, they were trying to trade him to Columbus, and he said no. So, it kind of tells you where a lot of people think Columbus is right now. If, Jacob Trouba goes and says, yeah, I'd rather go to Anaheim than Columbus. He obviously sees more upside in Anaheim. And you want to talk about getting somebody out of your town. Yeah, ship them straight across the country. Go from New York City to Anaheim, California. So, yeah, he voided a trade to Columbus. So Columbus is just they're not great right now. They're struggling. Nobody really expected a lot of them. I'm still pulling for them to maybe try to turn this around and make a run to at least, be in that playoff hunt. But right now, that's not happening. Number 26. Oh, man. They dropped 7 spots. They've lost 6 in a row. And again, the epitome of a team that always takes 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Well, right now, they've taken no steps forward and literally 6 steps back. Buffalo. What in the world? I don't get it. And Lindy Ruff, I was hearing Lindy Ruff is not happy. He's not happy with how this team is playing. And I don't blame him. Now you look at something like this, and you would think, you're going to fire the coach. Lindy Ruff just got there. He just got there at the start of the season. So I don't think you're firing him. And he's getting very, very frustrated with this team. Very, very frustrated with this team. And I don't blame him. This is another team. I want to see them make the playoffs. But man, oh man, again, no consistency. They have what did they have? They have a 4-goal lead over Colorado and they blew it. Or a 4-1 lead over Colorado and they blew it and they lost. It's not there right now for Buffalo. And yeah, it's looking like this might be another year out of the playoffs for the Buffalo Sabres. And I want to see him get in the playoffs because it's been so long, but yeah, it's not looking like it right now. Number 25. They dropped 4 spots also. They're much better. They have lost 2 in a row. They're obviously not going to be a playoff team, but I love the fact they're not as bad as they were. And that's San Jose. Macklin Celebrini is looking like he's looking like the real deal. He's looking really good right now. And the San Jose Sharks are a better team for it. Him, Will Smith, who is currently hurt, but the Sharks are better. They're way better than they were last year, and it's good to see. I'm really glad to see the Sharks are a better team. I don't know if they're going to be, I mean, they were kind of in this area last week. I mean, like I said, they did drop. What did they drop? They dropped 4 spots, but it's good to see that they're stringing some wins together here and there, and let's see if they can kind of keep it going. Number 24, another team that they've not been as bad as a lot of people thought. They went down 4 spots. They lost 2 in a row. They basically had almost the exact same record as San Jose. And because they were ahead of San Jose by 1 spot last week, they both dropped the same amount of spots, and they're still 1 spot ahead of them, and that is Anaheim. Now, of course, I just mentioned Anaheim. They just acquired Jacob Trouba from the New York Rangers. Trouba obviously has not played there yet. I think he will definitely be a good addition for the Ducks. And it'll be interesting to see how he fits in with them, and what exactly he can bring to Anaheim. And again, you've got Dostal, you've got Gibson in net, you've got decent, competent goaltending, and again, it's a young team. I think the acquisition of Trouba will make them a little bit better. How much better? Well, we'll wait and see. Number 23. Now, because some of these teams dropped like they did, these guys move up 4 spots. Not that they really did a whole lot to move up. It's just some of these other teams just played that much worse. Utah. So the Utah, soon to be possibly Yeti or Outlaws or whatever team name they come up with. They, like I said, they move up because some of these other teams just cratered, like Buffalo cratered, and so that really moved them up. They didn't play bad. I mean, they didn't play bad this week. They were 1-1, and they weren't, like I said, they weren't bad. They weren't horrible this week, but yeah, the main reason they move up is because some of these other teams just dropped like a stone. Number 22, another team that, they actually moved up because on some merit there, because they went 2-0-1 on the week. They moved up 3 spots. Ottawa. So the Senators, they're another one of those teams that is really, I don't know what to make of them. They're very hot. They're very cold. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a lot of much of a happy medium with them. They're either good or they're bad. 1 week good, 1 week bad. We don't know. I still expect them to be better. I think they have the talent to be a better team. They're not right now. They're kind of one of those, they're kind of one of those mid, kind of teams right now. And again, I do expect them to be better. And I thought it was interesting. One of the rumors that I had heard was Trouba to Ottawa for Brady Tkachuk. And the Senators said, hell no. I thought that was interesting. I don't see the Senators trading Brady Tkachuk. I don't see them trading one of the Tkachuk boys. And so, yeah, that was shot down real quick. And again, Ottawa is a team that, again, I do expect more from them. And, we'll see if they can, we'll see what they can do here, within the next, couple of weeks. We'll see what they do. Number 21. These guys actually did pretty well. They moved up 5 spots. They went 2-1 on the week, even though their last 10, they're only 4-6. They did lose their last game, but Seattle. And this is another case of they helped their cause a little bit, but because some of these other teams just cratered like they did. I mean, when these other teams fall, these other teams, even though they hadn't been playing that well, they have to move up. And Seattle is one of the recipients of that. Again, not that they've been playing bad. They did go 2-1 on the week. But again, Seattle is one of those teams. I don't know. It's another team I expected more from. I really expected them to do much better. And can they do better? I think they can. Number 20. They move up 8 spots. They help their cause a lot. I mean, they were 28 last week. They went 2-1 on the week, 6-3-1 in the last 10. They had won 4 straight. Then they had a loss. And then they went and they beat Toronto last night. And that was Pittsburgh. So the Penguins are moving. The Penguins are on the move. This is good to see if you're a Penguin fan. They're on the move. They're moving in the right direction. Can they continue it? A good win against Toronto last night, and we'll see we'll see if they can keep it going. But I'm liking what Pittsburgh's doing right now, and again, like I said, we'll see if they can keep that stretch up. Number 19, they move up 5 spots too. They're one of those teams. They more or less helped their cause, which is one reason why they moved up. They went 3-1 on the week. St. Louis. So the Blues are definitely much better. They're doing much better. They're playing much better. They are looking like a team that could be a playoff threat. They literally could be a playoff threat. It would not shock me if they become a team that is right there in the mix for the playoffs. And again, I think they're doing well. They're playing well. And we'll see just how much they can keep that going. Number 18, they dropped 1 spot, but they dropped a lot the week prior. They only went 1-1 on the week. They're still struggling, even though they didn't win their last game. And I do expect them to be much better. I do expect them to do better. And it won't surprise me in the next couple weeks if they're a team that ends up back up toward the top. And that's the New York Rangers. The Rangers being in the 3rd row to me is just shocking. They have not looked great. They traded out their captain. What they end up doing with that freed up cap space, yeah, they take a lot of that. They trade Trouba. They take a lot of that money they save, and they re-sign Igor Shesterkin, 8 years, $11.5 million per. He is the top-rated goaltender in the NHL, and yeah, I think that's good for the Rangers. I think the Rangers will be much better. I think they will start doing better, and it won't surprise me if in the next couple weeks they're back up here. It won't shock me. Number 17. These guys, they've had a decent run. They've been in the top half of the board for pretty much all year. They've been struggling lately. They lost their last game in overtime. They dropped 2 spots down to the bottom half of the board, and that is Calgary. The Calgary Flames, they've had a good little run. They really have. And they're not out of it. They're not out of it. They're still doing decently. And I think they will still, I think that the talent is there. They're capable of being a playoff team. Can they be that playoff team? Can they move back into the top half of the board? We'll have to see. But they've had their struggles, and it's shown recently. Number 16. These guys have had a little bit of a struggle. They dropped 2 spots. They didn't win a game this week, They only played 2 games. They went 0-1-1. Their coach was not happy about the result they just had in Boston, and that's Philadelphia. Philly has been on a nice little run. But again, they've kind of fallen back a little bit. Their coach, John Tortorella, was not happy with that game in Boston. Talking about the penalties and, saying that, gee, maybe our guys should dive more. So I don't know. Definitely not happy with officiating. And, Philadelphia, I mean, they're on a nice little run. They're still in the top half of the board. If they end up with more results like they kind of had against Boston, they might end up moving down some more. But Philly right now, I think, is a team that might be kind of overachieving. Number 15. I talk about the Flyers being a team that's kind of overachieving. I think this team is definitely underachieving, but I think their goaltending has had a lot to do with it, even though they do move up one spot. And that's Colorado. The Avalanche are a team that, yes, I do think they are underachieving. The talent is there. The goaltending has been, I wouldn't say it's been god-awful, but it has not been good. It has not been good. They made the trade with Nashville. They traded Annunen to Nashville for Wedgwood. So the goaltending tandem is Georgiev and Wedgwood. And yeah, I don't know. The Avalanche right now basically need to outscore their goaltending. They have to outscore their goaltending because they figure their goaltending is probably going to let in 4 or 5 goals a night. They need to outscore that. And do they have the talent to outscore that? Yes, they do. Can they? Yeah, I don't know. But, right now with the tandem of Georgiev and Wedgwood, is that a team that you see where that goaltending could lead them to a Stanley Cup? Right now, I don't think so. But I do still expect Colorado to be much better. Number 14. You want to talk about a team that's been better since making a coaching change. They went 4-0 this week. 7-3 in the last 10. They've won 4 straight, obviously, because they went 4-0 this week. They moved up 4 spots. And honestly, I probably could have moved them up I actually thought about moving them up even further. But the team that is ahead of them were a lot further ahead of these guys the week prior, so I couldn't exactly move that. I couldn't quite make them overtake them. Boston. So the Bruins are, I don't want to necessarily say the Bruins are back, but yeah, they're much better. They're 7-2 under the new head coach, and yeah, they're playing much better. They're playing like the Bruins that we figured that they could be, and we'll see. Can they keep this run under Joe Sacco? They've gone 7-2 with him as their head coach. We'll see what they can do. Can they keep that going? We'll see. Number 13. They dropped 3 spots. They've lost 2 in a row. This is another team. Consistency. They're not that consistent. And like I said, I thought about dropping these guys below Boston. But because of where they were in comparison to Boston the week prior, I couldn't. But they're right next to each other right now, and it's Dallas. So Dallas is 13. Dallas dropped 8. They dropped 3 spots, where Boston moved up 4. So that's that shows you the difference from where they were last week into this week, which is why I couldn't quite put Boston ahead of Dallas. But they're right next to each other right now. And yeah, Dallas is one of those teams. The talent is there. The goaltending is there. But they're not that in sync right now. And yeah, the fact that they have lost 2 in a row, yeah, the inconsistency with the Dallas Stars is definitely there. Number 12, moving up 1 spot. Their road record's really good. It'd be nice to see if their road record could translate to their home to home ice, and that's Vancouver. So the Canucks are still, they're just outside the top 10, but again, they're not doing bad. Their road record is pretty good. Their home record is still, But Demko is back. It's looking like Demko is back. He dressed. I think he was the backup. I think he will be in Vancouver's next game. I think he probably will start. And hopefully, with Demko being back, their home record will improve and they'll improve. Number 11. They move up a spot also. And this is another one of those teams I could have maybe flip-flopped, but again, they were ahead of Vancouver last week, and they were very similar this week, even though they only played 1 game, and they won it this week. Tampa. So the Lightning are number 11. The Lightning are still a dangerous team. They are still, to me, a very dangerous team. You have Vasilevsky in net, you have Point, you have Kucherov, you have Hedman, you've got Gensel. Tampa's a team that, to me, can be very lethal. Can they be? Can they, I guess it depends on who they would draw in the playoffs, but I think, to me, Tampa's a team that right now, I think they could beat anybody. And they're definitely playing much better. And yeah, so if they keep playing like that, they might end up in the top row, sooner rather than later. Who knows? Number 10, dropping 3 spots. They have struggled. They went 1-2 on the week. They were off to an incredible start. They were right there with Winnipeg on the start, with fantastic starts, but they've dropped big time lately too. And that is Carolina. They're still in the top 10. They are still in the top 10, but Carolina they've hit a little bit of a rut. They have hit a little bit of a rut, and can they get out of it? Yeah, I think they can get out of it. How soon they can get out of it? We'll wait and see. Kochetkov is back, which is good, but you've got Kochetkov and the other goaltender's name escapes me right now, but Martin, I think Spencer Martin, and I think that's who it is, but. We'll see what they can do. But, yeah, Carolina, they're still in the top 10, but they are number 10. Number 9, they move up 1. They've done pretty good this week. They went 3-1 on the week. And, yeah, they move up 1 spot, and I think they're definitely getting their groove back. And that's the Oilers. So Edmonton is at number 9. And like I said, I think they're getting their game back. Skinner's definitely played better. McDavid, of course. McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, these guys, a lot of talent on that team. And they're definitely playing better. And again, they need some more consistency. And because if they can get the consistency, I think they'll be back in the top part of the board, pretty relatively soon. Number 8, dropping 2 spots. They were on a nice little run, but then they lost both games of their back-to-back, and it kind of dropped them 2 spots, mainly because they had some teams that were behind them that have been playing really well and just passed them. And that's Toronto. So Toronto is they're still in the top row. They're still in the top row. But I mean, losing 2 in a row, not great. But Toronto is a pretty damn good team. And again, the main reason they drop and they end up dropping 2 spots is because some of these teams that were behind them, they've just been playing incredible hockey. So yeah, Toronto, they're still in the top row at number 8. Number 7. This is a team that they've been playing out of their mind. And they had a big win tonight over Minnesota. And they went 3-0 on the week. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They have won 5 straight. They move up 4. And honestly, I probably could have I could have probably moved them up even further. And it was definitely on my mind. And that is the LA Kings. So Los Angeles is they're on a heater right now. They are on a nice little heater here. And can they keep it going? I think they definitely could keep it going. And again, a big win tonight over Minnesota. Needless to say, you haven't seen Minnesota yet. So it kind of tells you the quality of that win, which is another reason why I thought about bumping them up even more, at least one more spot, because the team at number 6 has dropped 4 spots. Even though they have won their last 2, they hit a little bit of a rut, and it seems like they're kind of getting out of it. And yeah, they end up dropping 4 spots. And again, I could have moved out. I thought about flipping these teams. I got Winnipeg at 6. Now again, I really was there. I really thought about flipping those 2. But again, I looked at where LA was. I look at where LA was the week prior compared to Winnipeg. And I thought, do I really want to would I really want to jump them like that? I didn't, but boy, I was right there. I was really close to that. I was like, oh, I could flip them around very easily. But who knows next week if LA keeps this run up, they might be ahead of Winnipeg next week. We'll have to see. Number 5. They go up 4 spots also. These guys are on a nice little run too. They went 3-0 on the week, 7-2-1 in the last 10, winners of 3 in a row, and yeah, they went up 4 spots. They were 9th last week, and now Vegas is 5th. So the Knights are playing kind of like how I thought they would play. And they're playing really well. They're playing really well. Stone was hurt for a little bit, where then, everybody starts, oh, here it goes. Here we go. Mark Stone on the IR again. He wasn't on LTIR. But yeah, Winnipeg, they're playing fabulous right now. And, they definitely have been playing much better. And yeah, the Knights are basically kind of where I thought they would be. And at least standing wise, and we'll see if they can keep moving up the board. Number 4, moving up 1. They won 2 in a row, 2-0-1 on the week, 7-2-1 in the last 10, and to see these guys still doing as well as they are without their big gun. Washington, the Capitals. So without Ovechkin, they had a little bit of a hiccup. The first couple games without Ovi, they had a little bit of a hiccup. They didn't look great, but they got out of that. They got out of it, and they've looked really good. They've looked really good lately, and I'm liking the run that they're on. They're currently leading the Metropolitan Division. Who the hell saw that coming? I didn't. A team that barely made the playoffs last year. I didn't see this. I didn't see it at this point here in early December. I didn't see Washington leading the Metropolitan Division, but they are, and they're doing really, really well. And this was a case too. I could have flipped number 4 and number 3, and I think it would have been fine either way. Number 3, even though these guys are not leading the Metro, they're not that far behind them. Number 3 is New Jersey. Again, kind of like with LA and Winnipeg, I was right there. I was right there to flipping them. But again, where they were in the standings, Washington was a little bit below, was one spot below New Jersey last week, and they both have played well. They both have won 2 in a row. New Jersey went 2-0 on the week. They went 7-3 in their last 10, and yeah, it was kind of right there. Could I have either one? New Jersey at 3 and Washington at 4, or New Jersey at 4 and Washington at 3. I think either way they'd be right about where they should be, and they're both playing really well, and they are 1-2 in the Metro, and yeah, it's fun to see, New Jersey and Washington both playing as good as they are, and yeah, I mean, 4 and 3, New Jersey, Washington, they're both right there. I think I could have flip-flopped them, and I think it would have been fine either way. Number 2, they've won 2 in a row. They went on a little bit of a they kind of hit a little bit of a rut too. They went 5-4-1 on the week, 2-0-1 on the week, winners of their last 2, and yeah, they're number 2, and that is the defending champion Panthers. So Florida is number 2. They're looking fantastic again. They're the reigning defending champions, and yeah, they're looking fantastic. And they're the reigning defending champions. Would it surprise me if they make number 1 next week? No, it wouldn't. Who do I have number 1? Same spot as last week, even though they did lose. I keep Minnesota at number 1, as the kid wants to put it up there. Yep, Minnesota. I have Minnesota at number 1, even though they did lose to Los Angeles. The role the Kings have been on, I couldn't really penalize Minnesota. I couldn't. I couldn't really penalize the Wild for it. And it's just, yeah, and she, right. Yeah, okay, put it there. But yeah, I couldn't really penalize Minnesota because of your, Raya, don't knock the stuff around. I want to show my shirt. But I couldn't really penalize the Wild for losing to LA. They've been on a fantastic roll until running into LA, and just hold on. And they've been no.
Why? I'm gonna press the button.
Not yet, kiddo. But Minnesota, they've looked good. They ran into LA, who's been on a hell of a run, and we'll see if they can keep it. We'll see if they can kind of keep that run going. Don't knock the stuff over.
I want to show my shirt.
Well, just hold on. As the kid wants to show her her blue shirt. So okay, but yeah, Minnesota, they've still been playing well.
Don't press it yet. I know.
No.
I won't press it yet.
Yeah, the Wild are still playing well. Can they stay at number 1 next week? We'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think about where the teams are sitting. Do you think I'm crazy on where I have some of them? I might, do you think some of these teams I could have maybe flip-flopped?
Dad, excuse me. I want this one right here. I want this one right here. This one right here, and this one right there.
Yeah, the kid likes Nashville and San Jose and
Contenders.
Yeah, she likes those teams.
I like the Saber-Tooth Tiger, and I like the Panthers.
Yeah, she likes these teams. But,
that's because they're my favorite animals.
Well, yeah, they're her favorite teams. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hit like and subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe to Larry's House of Hockey.
And if you want to share this video, or any other video from the channel, go right ahead and let your friends and family know about the channel. And again, let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys again later.
And if you want a giveaway prize, wait until a couple more months.